Hello, friends, and welcome to Shutty Uppy, Let's Talk King and Queens podcast. My name is Steve Lont, and we have an exciting show for you today. I'm joined by my co host, Mr. Dusty Salisbury. You know him because he's famous for his hilarious King and Queen TikTok reenactments with his lovely wife. Dusty, how are you today?
What's up, you demented old circus monkeys? I am doing fantastic tonight. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. You know that. Um, so before we introduce our guest, we have another rating and review from on the podcast. I'm always excited when we get those. It was on the Apple Podcast app. We got 5 stars from Yoang4. And Yoang4 says, I'm new to your podcast and I listened to episode 18 yesterday. I have to say, I was very entertained with the mother daughter duo you had on. The knowledge they had of the show was and is amazing. The time just flew by. You should have them back. You should have them come back. We always watched this show when it was on, and thanks to syndication, it's everywhere. Keep up the good work. Thanks. So thank
Awesome
you,
review.
Yoang, for the awesome review. We always appreciate that. And if you want to have us read your review and you don't have the Apple Podcast app, just send us a message. King of Queens podcast at gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook. We're in the King and Queens fan group, and just hit up Dusty Salisbury or Stephen Lant, and we'll go from there. All right, so today we have an awesome guest for you. She was actually born in Queens and moved to Long Island when she was in elementary school. She now lives in Northern Virginia. She has 2 daughters, and her husband is a lawyer, but not just to be on the softball team. She used to be a lawyer, but is now a stay-at-home mom. Please Morris to the show. Amanda, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you? Of
Doing great, doing great. Thanks for coming.
Awesome.
course.
So your husband's a lawyer, and you used to be
Hmm.
a lawyer. That's do you guys get into like a lot of legal battles in the house or?
No, but every now and then, whenever we talk about a legal issue, I say, as a lawyer, which I think we can agree we both are, and it's like running. That's sort of our little inside joke. But our kids actually get sick of it because we use a lot of these lines.
Oh,
Sometimes I forget they're from King of Queens because I say them so much.
yeah.
Yeah,
It just
that's awesome.
Yeah.
it's ingrained in your
Hmm.
vocabulary. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how long were you a lawyer for?
Not long actually. When we moved to DC, I started working at a nonprofit in a non-legal role, and then our kids are adopted, and we adopted them from foster care. So there was a lot of work that needed to be done. Just overcoming some issues from their home of origin. So it was. I decided it would be a better use of my time to devote myself to that, and it's been very rewarding, more rewarding than law.
Oh, that's great. No,
Yeah,
that's
Nice.
so
really great to hear.
Yeah,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah, that's so cool. To hear stories like that.
Yeah, I mean they're great kids. We're very when you prepare to be a foster parent to adopt foster kids, they really prepare you for the worst and
Oh
things
wow.
that could happen. And it was pleasantly surprising that of course, there's work to be. All kids need work.
Sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Well, that's a great thing you guys did.
Thank
That's really
you.
awesome. Um, so as far as the show's concerned,
Hmm.
you've listened before, right?
I
And
have.
you know the format. But maybe if you're a first-time listener and you want to know what this is all about, basically what we do is we talk about a specific episode. We don't go in order, so we're on episode 20 right now of our podcast, but we jump around from season to season every show. Uh, we talk about we asked the guest, who is Amanda tonight, about the show, about the episode specifically. Then we share some quotes and ponderings, and then we do a rating and review at the end, and then we all leave happily ever after. So that's kind of how it goes. So hopefully everyone enjoys it and has a good time. Amanda, if you have any questions, if not, let's get
Um,
started.
Questions, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Tonight we're going to go over season 5, episode 7, entitled "Flame Resistant," written by Michael J. Whitehorn David Litt, and Rock Rubin. It was by Rob Schiller, and it originally aired on November 4th, 2002. Episode synopsis: Doug, ex-girlfriend of Doug from high school. She still has contact with Doug's mom, who's coming to town. So it really sets you up for this episode. I'm super excited to do this one.
Yeah.
All right, Amanda, here we go. Trivia
All right.
question number 1.
Bring it.
Why does Doug pick where Carrie? Sorry. Why does Doug pick where Carrie's going to sit at Cooper's?
Because he wants to watch the Jet game.
He wants to watch the Jet game. Absolutely. Now, Amanda, are you a football fan? Oh, what's your team?
So I'm more a baseball fan than a football fan. But if I were going to root for a football team, my dad used to be a Jet fan, and then when they moved to play in New Jersey, he was like, "That's a disgrace." So he now is a Bills fan
Oh,
because they're
okay.
the only team that plays in New York, as geographically. So
Yeah,
I
I
root for
could
the
see
Bills
that.
for him, but
Okay. What about
I'm a Yankee
baseball?
fan, really. I'm a
Oh,
huge Yankee fan. Yeah.
wow. From Queens, but she's a Yankees fan. All right.
Well, my grandpa was born in Alabama,
Okay.
and he was much older than my dad, so they didn't have a baseball team. I mean, they still don't. But the Yankees used to do exhibition games down in Alabama, and
Oh,
when he was a kid, Babe Ruth bought all the kids in the stadium a hot dog. And when he was so he from that moment he was like, I will be a Yankee fan my whole life. And then he
oh,
moved to New
that's
York and
that's a
goes
really
through the
cool story.
genes.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. That's a
Right.
really cool story. I had no clue
yeah.
they
That
used to
is.
play exhibition
Hmm.
games in Alabama and
Yep. Just
Babe
so
Ruth
people
buying
that
hot dogs. Yeah.
yeah, so that they people that lived in parts of the country that didn't have regular teams could see the famous players.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, trying to promote the
Hmm.
game and
Yeah,
all that. This is before obviously like TV
yeah,
and
Yep.
you can only get select games on the radio and stuff. So
right.
awesome.
So your
That's really
grandpa
cool.
was one of the kids that got a hot dog from Babe Ruth?
Oh yeah, from Babe Ruth.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
That
That
is
is
really
super
cool.
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, not many people could say that.
No, well,
No.
apparently a lot of kids in Alabama.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
was the whole
Yeah.
stadium. But yeah.
So, all right, cool. All right, and Dusty, we already know you're a huge Chicago Bears fan, and I'm a New York Giants fan. So
Okay.
there we go.
Chicago.
Question number question number 2: Who owns Coopers, according to Carrie?
A retired Jet.
That's right, a retired Jet player. She does
Yeah.
not say
Nice.
who the retired Jet player is, but yeah. So pretty much, Doug, she's
Yeah.
going there and she wants to talk to Doug and have his attention, but he just wants to watch a Jets game. So,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
so Dusty, you ever run into that where big game's on and you're trying to you
All the
got to go
time.
somewhere or all the time?
All the time. I always try to pick like restaurants that have TV so I can watch my games.
There
So,
you go. There you go.
my wife don't
Buffalo
care.
Wild Wings or something.
Well,
No, she don't care.
maybe she
probably
does.
does, and-
Sometimes
Yeah, I'm sure
she
does.
hates sports.
She does.
Yeah, the only sports she likes is NC State. So, because
Oh,
she
okay.
graduated from NC State, so she's a big state fan.
It's
All
hard for
right.
me to imagine somebody hating sport. Like that's I can get hating like football if you don't like football or whatever. But there has to be some sport that people yeah, I don't know. I've heard that before. People are like, I hate sports. And I'm like, really all of them?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
she
one that you can
not like sports. Now, she likes the Cubs when Javi Baez is playing, but now that Javi Baez isn't playing for the Cubs anymore, she's not a baseball fan. But yeah,
Wow.
she don't like sport. She likes college sports. It's different. She thinks it's more fun,
Okay.
which I agree. They are more fun. But yeah, she's a big college sports fan.
Oh, all right.
Gotcha.
Cool. Yeah, my wife could care less. I mean, we go to all of our son's games, football, baseball, and all that. So she obviously loves that. But professional
Yeah.
sports, she's like, whatever.
kids games though, man. They're brutal. I don't think I remember.
Yes and no. It depends.
It
Yeah.
depends on the level, I guess. But if
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
used
yeah.
to play softball, I feel sorry for my parents. They have to sit through that.
All right. Question number 3. You're 2 for 2, Amanda. Question number
Mhm.
3. Who is Doug and Carrie's waitress?
Margie Coletti.
Margie
ex.
Coletti, his ex-girlfriend from high school.
Zipping through
That-
these
I thought-
questions.
Zipping through, man. You're really kicking butt.
Oh yeah.
yeah, so this is where we're introduced to Margie Coletti, and the pretty much the whole episode is circled around her, and Doug's trying to make it awkward, but it really isn't awkward for Carrie,
Which is
which I thought was
hilarious.
thought was a really funny part.
Who's the actress
And,
that plays Margaret Coletti?
Ooh,
I don't know.
I don't know either. I didn't look that one up. Do you know?
I don't.
No,
Is that
I
an official
mean,
question? Didn't count.
No, no, no.
No, no, no,
I
no.
don't know who the actress is.
I was asking Dusty if he knew.
I've seen her in a couple of things, but I know she had like a big role, not a big role, but a big role in one season on Sopranos, where she was.
It's been a minute since I've seen Sopranos, man.
Oh, we just finished it again. Love it.
Again? Oh yeah, you watched it all the way through?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean,
But
I'm from Jersey,
yeah, it is.
so a lot of that stuff
But-
was kind of filmed near where I grew up. Let's see.
Yep.
Hold on. I'm see cast.
Yeah. I can't even remember her name.
Lola Glaudini.
Claudini.
Lola Glaudini.
That sounds like a Italian name.
Yeah, so she was on Criminal Minds, Invincible, Blow, that awkward moment. So, all right.
Invincible.
Yeah, Invincible. It's a movie with about the
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, yeah.
She must be one of the girlfriends or something. Sharon
Okay.
Happel. All right, tangent over. Sorry, Amanda. We're just
That's
going
all
off
right.
here.
We get off
All right.
topic.
That's okay.
So this is where we find out that Margie Coletti has been in touch with Doug's mom, Janet, for a while now, and they talk and all that kind of stuff. So that's how we find out Doug's mom is coming into town. Question number 4. So Doug's mom's in town, and Doug and her are sitting at the kitchen or the dining room table talking. Doug tells her about his annual review at IPS. So what was the result of Doug's annual review?
He's an average worker.
He's an average worker. And Janet seems a little too enthusiastic about him being an average worker. She was
Low
very excited about that.
expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he was super proud of that.
Yeah, exactly.
I
They
mean,
were
yeah,
actually
she's got.
doing brunch.
I mean, he had to repeat kindergarten. He had to go to super kindergarten.
Super kindergarten, absolutely. So this was actually a brunch, and Carrie's trying to rush her out, but brunch ends up getting cut short anyway. Why was brunch cut short?
Because Margie, she wants to go. She's helping her decorate.
Yep, that's right. Margie shows up to the door. I thought that was another funny scene when you hear a knock at the door, and Janet's like, "Oh, you'll never guess who that is," and Doug's like, "It's Margie
Oh
Coletti."
yeah.
We ran into her yesterday, and I could see her through the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that
so,
scene.
Yeah, that was great.
Having
that
brunch
was
and then
really
they're gonna have funch.
Yeah. Funch.
What happened to Funch?
Fast lunch. So Carrie gets a little upset about that, and ends up wanting to spend a little. She gets jealous and wants what Margie Coletti has with Janet, so she ends up going shopping with her. What was the color of the dress that Carrie picked out?
So Carrie picked out this black dress,
Okay.
right? Wasn't it black? And
Yeah.
sometimes TV it's black or navy, but I think it's black.
Yeah. I'll give you that. That's what I had. That's
Yeah.
what I thought
Okay.
it was black. That line is probably one of the funniest lines of the episode for me.
Oh
When
yeah.
she goes, Janet goes to Carrie, using for Playboy magazine, dear. Like
Because it's not a revealing dress. I mean, it's not
No,
even sleeveless. It's got a sleeve and everything. It's
yeah,
a short
exactly.
sleeve, but
It the way she says it, the way she delivers, it's just all
Yeah.
basically she's, I think, like you said, Amanda, it's the dress is nowhere near like revealing at all.
scandalous. Yeah. And And the dress that
Skin.
she picks out, the dress that Janet picks out is so hideous.
Oh
Like,
my
I don't know.
God.
I honestly, that dress is so ugly. It might actually be worth nuking the relationship before I would wear that to an important function.
You know what? You know what that outfit reminds me of? It always reminded me of the Golden Girls for some reason.
Yes, it does.
Right? Doesn't that look
Yep.
like something one of the
Yes.
Golden Girls would have worn in
That's
the
not a
in the
good thing
show?
either.
No, no, no. Another great show, but you
Great
know.
show, but not a fashion forward.
Yeah. So you're 6 for 6. Good job. Good job. Um. So at this point, uh, Doug, let's see, where are we at this point? Oh yeah, Doug goes to talk to Margie about staying away from Janet. Still all pissed off because Janet ends up not sneaking away, but gets a phone call when Carrie's buying the dress to go with Margie shopping or something, and so Carrie's all pissed off and tells Doug to go talk to Margie. So when he gets there and starts talking to her, they start talking about their first date. What movie did Doug and Margie see on their first date?
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain. Now, I've never seen Purple Rain.
Me
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-mm.
Dusty, have you? Amanda, you haven't. You
Oh
said
no,
Mm-mm.
no.
no. Okay.
Nope.
I know it's with Prince,
Mhm.
and the way Doug says, we watched a 4-foot black man change the face of music or something to that extent, and yeah, so Purple Rain. Actually, side note, somebody I know wants me to watch that so bad, just so we could talk about how bad it is, and I haven't brought myself to do it. I can't
Yeah.
do it
Nope.
because she just tells me it's like so horrible. I'm like, I can't, Um, so so they talk about the good old times, and then it turns out that Margie ended up cheating on him. It sounds like with someone. What was the nickname that Doug gave the guy that Margie was cheating
Ricky
on?
LaDouche.
Ricky LaDouche.
I love
His
that.
name
I
was
also love her
Yeah.
accent.
yeah
Yeah.
It's
yeah
Ricky
yeah
LaDou. It's LaDou.
yeah LaDouche.
Oh, hey, you
Uh,
sounded just like her.
Because
yeah
it's the Long
exactly.
Island accent. I don't have
Yeah.
it naturally, but I used to, so it
Yeah.
comes out.
Oh yeah, you
It's
could bring
Ricky
that out. I'm
LaDou.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure when you get. Yeah, I'm sure
When
when
I'm
you get
mad.
like worked up or pissed off, right? It
Yeah,
comes
it
out.
comes out. Or
Oh man.
if I'm on the phone with my sister for long enough, because she has like a real heavy Leah Remini type accent. She still lives on Long Island, and we'll
Oh,
be on the
so
phone for
you
like an
guys.
hour. And when I get off, I'm like, "All right, time to make the coffee. We gotta go." And my husband's like, "What? Where did that come from?"
That's funny. That's funny. Um. All right. So at this point, we find out that Doug supposedly wrote a song for Margie called the Margie song, and this is where it takes a turn for the the hilarious in my opinion. Um. So basically, Margie accuses Doug of not finishing anything, and including the song that he wrote, quote unquote. And so he gets all pissed off and is like, "No, I'll prove it to you. I have the tape somewhere." So him and Danny are looking for the tape, and they ended up finding it in his garage. Tape, and Doug says the date that
Oh,
he makes the tape. What is that date?
oh, I don't know the date. I remember him saying specifically Doug the boss Heffernan.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I do not remember the date. I can't even try. I can't even guess.
Can can you guess the year?
Mm, it's like 1980 something.
Oh, you're so close.
83?
Close, very close. 84.
And I
October
should have remembered
12th.
that. That's when I was born, 84.
Oh, there you go. There you go. October
should have
12th,
remembered.
1984. October
Okay.
12th, 1984. And I looked it up. So I looked up when Purple Rain. I wanted to make sure that
Hmm.
they were accurate in making sure that this date was after the Purple
Yeah.
Rain first date.
Yeah.
And it was because it
Okay.
was sometime in July when Purple Rain came out
Some
in the
continuity.
movie. Yeah, exactly. Some continuity. Um, Yeah, so so he says that Doug the
The
boss
boss.
Heffernan,
I love
and like
that.
he's sitting there, he's like, yeah, that's me, yep. Um, so we find out that he actually tried to write the song, but didn't. He did not finish the song, so Margie was correct, but doesn't want to admit it. So Danny tries to help him write the song, and Carrie ends up walking in. What was Danny's excuse? Oh no, I'm sorry. Let me back up 1 second. I got one more question before
Mhm.
that. Danny starts singing his version, and Doug stops him, telling him to put back in the box. Danny says, "I've only won awards. I've only won awards for something. What awards did he get?
Karaoke.
What did he? Yeah, karaoke.
Yep.
And
What
that
awards
shows
did he
up in
get
another
for?
episode too, with the karaoke episode where
Yep.
he's wearing that hideous shirt, and yeah, it's pretty funny.
Look at
It's that
this.
Neil Diamond.
Look at this.
I love that. So more continuity.
More continuity. There we go. Um, so it turns out Danny makes an excuse for why he's over there helping Doug with, or why they're over there with the keyboard. Uh, what is Danny's position for the IPS Follies?
The musical director.
Musical director.
That's like possibly my favorite part of the whole episode. I don't know why. It's just such a little throwaway, but I can't when I watch that part. I'm just dying. I
I
love
think
it.
I actually, so on our poll, somebody talked about that part, and I got into a discussion with them about why I supported that, and I said I think it has to do with the face he makes and the way he says
Yes.
Oh
I
yeah.
actually am. He has a little smirk when Carrie walks out of the room. He goes, "I actually am."
Yeah.
He has a little smirk on his face, and it's the way he says it. Yeah, Amanda's cracking up
I'm sorry. I'm
because she
dying.
knows it's true,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it's that is one of the funniest parts of the
Yeah.
episode. I agree with you. It's not the funniest part in my opinion,
No, but it's
but yeah, it's definitely a great part. Uh, all right, we're burning through these. You're 11. Well, you're 10
I
for
missed the
11.
date.
You didn't get the date.
Yeah.
That's okay. That was a
That's
tough
okay.
one.
That was a tough one. That was a tough one.
It's all right.
All right, so uh, Carrie ends up talking to Janet and getting her upset because she says she's spending more time with Margie than her. So Janet gets all upset. She starts blubbering like Doug said she would, and they make up, and she says, "No, I'm not going to see Margie anymore." This and that, and she's kind of believable. But then she ends up getting a call from Margie. Janet does. Where does Janet claim she is going?
She's going to get diabetes medicine for her Uncle Norman, which is like the
Her
weirdest
Uncle
excuse
Norman.
ever. Like,
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And not that she's super old, but Uncle
Yeah.
Norman must be really old.
like 1,000, yeah. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, like 1,000.
I don't know.
Yeah. So Carrie is very suspicious at this point because it's at night. It's kind of like all of a sudden, and Carrie's got on that god awful outfit we just talked about, the Golden Girls outfit. Going to her what was it, her boss's party or something, because they won a law firm, or they won a lawsuit
Over clean
about
water.
clean water. She's not sure which side. She's not sure
No.
what side they're on.
That rang true as a former lawyer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's like sometimes you take a position you don't love.
yeah. I'm sure
Everyone's
I'm
entitled.
sure.
Everybody's entitled to a representation, but it's just sometimes
Dusty,
you don't.
did you ever
love
watch
it.
the show How I Met Your Mother?
Oh yeah. I haven't seen it all the way through, but I've seen most of the seasons. My wife loves that show.
So that always reminds me because Marshall's a lawyer and he wants to be
Oh,
like an
yeah.
environmental lawyer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So with the way you said it, Amanda, kind of made me think of Marshall and how he's like always torn about that. Again,
It's funny you
another
said
rant.
that. Yeah, because
Uh-oh.
we use lawyered all the time. Like if we like get into like
Mhm.
we don't, because me and my wife we don't really argue that much. But like when we get into like a funny argument, like we'll go lawyered or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's right. He's always saying that, Marshall.
Yep,
That's another
Yeah,
good show, man. That's another good
it's a
show.
good
it
show.
is.
In
It
four
is.
in 4 years, when we're done with this, maybe we should
Yes,
do
we should.
another podcast.
I'm
But we got to
Yes.
angered
get
though
through.
by the finale.
Yeah,
So I can't.
exactly.
It tainted my memory of the whole show. The finale made me so mad that I can't even watch it in the
Oh,
same
of
way.
How I
Of
Met
How I
Your
Met Your
Mother.
Mother. Yeah,
I've
All
it's
never
right,
very
seen it,
good.
so
so
I
Yeah.
oh, all right.
Well,
So
because
you
I
spoiler
haven't
haven't.
if
watched
you
it
haven't
all the
seen it,
way
but
through.
just it's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Amanda is not happy about that.
there are
Okay.
like,
Uh-uh.
I mean, it's hard to do a series finale, right? But yeah, and make everybody happy. But this one was like just painful. It was
Yeah, well,
torture.
yeah,
If you
it
liked the
was.
show, it was like, anyway.
The whole last season was kind of,
Yeah, but I mean, at
you
least
know.
part of the season was funny. But then it was, well, I can't really complain about it without giving stuff away. But
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
Uh, all right. So Carrie ends up following back to King of Queens. Carrie ends up following Janet as she's walking to get the quote unquote diabetes medicine, and she ends up going to Margie's apartment. What is the name of Margie's apartment complex?
Ooh.
the Sunrise Apartments.
Oh,
Sunrise
nice.
Apart. Amanda didn't
Yeah,
even flinch on that one.
No.
I
Did
can
not
hear it
even
in her
flinch.
voice. I
Yeah.
can hear it in her voice. I just moved into the Sunrise Apartments.
She does say it earlier in the episode, and
Yes.
then you actually see the sign,
Yeah.
as Janet's walking past it, going into there.
Yep.
And these two are kind of throwaway questions, just to wrap up the show. Who catches Margie and Janet at Margie's apartment?
Uh, Carrie.
Carrie does. And who who serenades Margie outside of her balcony?
That would be Doug.
That would be Doug. The In my opinion, the funniest part of the show, he starts singing the song,
Yeah.
the Margie song that he ended up writing. Margie comes out. All right, you wrote the song. I get it. Doug keeps singing it, and Carrie walks out, and he immediately changes the lyrics to Carrie. I lost it. I remember the first
Oh,
time watching this
Carrie!
episode, and exactly, Dusty.
And he falls through the bush.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
The
He
ladies.
tries to go through the gate, and then he like just he falls through the bushes.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's amazing.
That made the whole episode for me.
Yep.
Um, and that's pretty much how it ends. And of
Yeah.
course, we can't leave without talking about the music video
Yes.
that they actually made. They
Filmed.
made a whole music video and filmed and everything, and made a song, the Margie
I
song.
can't believe they did that.
Yes.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Very
Yes.
evocative of that era.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Doug with the backwards. I don't even know what kind of hat that was, but it was
I
like
know what you
everyone
mean, though.
wore it in the '90s.
Yeah.
He's playing the grand piano somehow. It was funny. If you guys have video, hopefully you've watched this episode, but look up the video online
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it.
Yes.
It's hilarious. Also, they did that a couple times on How I Met Your Mother with
Yes.
the mall song. Let's go to the mall, and then the other one I can't
Sandcastles
Oh
in the sand.
yeah.
I love that one because that episode was one of my favorites where they had the guy from Dawson's Creek playing Robin's ex from Canada.
Oh
That-
yeah.
I could probably recite that episode by heart. I've watched it so many times. I love it.
So that's a fun little. I didn't expect to talk about How I Met Your Mother so
Yeah.
much tonight, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fun little way to connect the shows. All right, so you went 14 for 15, Amanda.
Woohoo!
Excellent. I'd say that's a good score any day of the week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Quotes and ponderings. I already talked about the "Are you posing for Playboy magazine, dear?" That's probably, in my opinion, the funniest quote of the episode. But that's just me. What about you, Amanda? What was your favorite quote or
It's so hard. So I think that in the short time that he's in the episode, Danny just has such an impact. when he's like, saying that when Doug is complaining that Margie's like, oh, you never finish anything. He's like, she's obviously never eaten with you.
Yes.
that
Yes.
that's so
that
funny.
is
Like
a
his
great
scene.
line.
That's
Is a
what I was
great
gonna
line.
say. That's
Yes,
awesome. Yes, I love that.
but for me, the moment that like defines that episode, when they're in the apartment, in Margie's apartment, and Carrie's like, telling Margie, you're through, you're out of our lives, and then right at that moment you hear Margie, girl, my heart. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
I die at that part. It was just like the timing is so perfect. Like they're just
Yeah.
Oh my
she's
god.
so mad, and then all of a sudden you're out of our lives, and you hear like the music start, and Doug
Yeah,
singing,
you hear Doug
and they all
starting the
just kind of
piano.
look at the balcony.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing.
It is. It is. It's a
Yeah, it's a really
such a
well done
great episode.
episode.
What about you, Dusty? You said the same thing with the line
Yeah.
from Danny.
Yeah, I also liked
Uh,
the parts where she called his mom a lesbian
Oh.
whore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
I mean,
that was great. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Oh my god, I thought they were gonna start freaking making out.
Yeah,
Did you just call my mother a lesbian?
Oh.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
And
my
then I
god.
also
And then,
liked when like, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Steven.
no, I was gonna say with the horror part, it was
Advice whore.
her with her advice whore. Did you
Yeah.
call my mom a whore? Two different parts of the episode. It's
Yeah.
so
Yes.
funny.
Yes. Yep.
And Carrie, it's funny. Like Carrie has every right to be pissed off, but I feel like, and I'm not complaining or anything, but I feel like the reason why she's pissed off is not the reason why she should be pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
she's just upset because somebody else has what, is playing with her toy. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that she never plays with. But
Right.
as soon as somebody gives it that toy and attention, oh well, that's my toy. Give it to me. I want to play with it. Type of
Yeah.
thing. I think that's just so it's typical Carrie.
Yep.
Like I'm not surprised, and it fits her character well.
Yeah, I
What were
mean,
you gonna say?
in-law relationships are really fraught, right? Like they're just, even if you get along with your in-laws, it's like there's always an adjustment to how somebody else's family does things, as opposed to
Mhm.
yours. And I get along well with my mother-in-law, but
Okay.
if she started like hanging out with my husband's ex-girlfriend, even if, I don't know, I'd be pretty
It's
mad.
weird.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
Weird.
like I said,
yeah.
Carrie has
Yeah.
every right to be pissed off.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. But like I said, she was almost fine with it until she was monopolizing Janet's time,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and basically because she feels like she got disrespected,
Right.
you know. But I
Yep.
totally agree with you. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm sure my, I didn't. I mean, I've been dating my wife since I was 15, so I really haven't had an ex-girlfriend. If I had one and my mom started hanging out with her, it would be,
Yeah.
it would be a problem. I'm
Oh,
sure with you
yes.
too, Dusty.
Oh yes.
Absolutely,
Well,
right?
my mom never liked any of my girls that I dated. I mean, maybe a
Oh,
couple,
okay.
but yeah. My wife, she loved right off the bat,
Oh,
but
okay,
the other
good.
girls, nah. I was a bad boy.
Nah, okay.
So
Uh
I
oh.
dated.
Uh oh.
I, I
Dusty's
dated
got a
crazy
past.
women.
Dusty's
Yeah.
got a past.
Sure do.
But it's also kind of funny how Carrie did not feel like at all threatened by Doug
Yeah.
interacting with Margie. He's like, "Oh, go talk to her."
Yes.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it doesn't
Yes.
like it's funny, but it's also kind of realistic because he's just does not come across like a cheater. So
No.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, absolutely.
realistic, but it's funny.
Well, that's what I was gonna say because whenever she was getting pissed off about it, he stood up. He's like, "Now I'm with you," and all that. And that's because and she had no worry in the world that he was gonna cheat. It's like, hey,
Yeah, yeah.
you're good. You're good.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna be
Um,
alone with my ex. I'll take that chance.
Yeah, I'll take That's right. That's right.
It's also very realistic to me how he doesn't want Carrie to approach the subject with his,
Yeah.
no, we're
No.
gonna just ignore this. I can't allow that. That is
Yep.
like my husband in a nutshell. Like if I had an
Oh.
issue with his mother and I was like, I have to talk to her about it, we have to hash this out. He's like, do you though? Like just let it pass. Let it run its course.
Yep. Oh yeah. Hey, I'm the same way. I'm the
I-
same way with my dad. Because
Mhm.
my dad has never met like or met a woman like my wife. Like
Okay.
he could like doesn't take crap from my dad because he tries to like buy things for the kids when we're trying to buy things and tries to like say I'm coming to pick up the kids without asking permission, and my wife just like nope.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
my dad's never met his match until my wife. So
Oh
my
wow.
dad's my dad's an awesome guy. He's such a great guy, and all that. He loves his grandkids, and he'll do anything for us or the kids. But he's never met a match like my wife. I can tell you that.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Okay.
my wife don't play.
Interesting.
That's funny.
Interesting. Interesting. Um, I just want to say one other thing. I think my favorite scene of all time, of this show, is Doug serenading Margie.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it out there. I think that's
Yeah.
my favorite scene. You know what I'm saying,
Yep.
of all time with King of Queens.
Yeah, that's something special.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
It really is.
Carrie.
Yeah, that
Sorry.
that part is. I lose it every time. Every
Yeah.
time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You know
hilarious.
it's coming, and you still laugh.
Yeah,
Yep.
and even when like you're singing, even when at the end when they do the music video and it's actually the actual words, you're
Yeah.
always I'm always expecting, oh Carrie,
Yeah.
and it's just so funny.
Yeah.
What do you think Fingerfest
I-
is?
Finger fest.
I've been trying to figure that out.
Chicken tenders.
Oh no, it's all
That's
like,
what I was thinking.
Yeah.
finger foods. What were you saying? Chicken
Huh.
fingers?
Yeah.
Yeah, chicken fingers or like just like finger foods, like uh appetizers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
I
thinking.
wish.
Potato skins.
Yeah.
All those. Wing.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not wing.
Yes, here.
Yeah, yeah. Is
That
that
would
instead
dominate
of
it.
Wing Madness? that was funny too.
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
Fingerfest instead of Wing Madness or?
Yes. And no one could give
I
him
don't
a
know.
straight answer. Even the guy that was
Yeah, yeah.
getting the bus boy, he just walked
Yeah,
away
yeah.
from him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
Just like keep me
Pretty
posted.
rude.
all right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think it's funny that this episode is so well done. To me, it's one of the best in the show. But yet it has such a limited cast. I mean, Arthur's not in it. Deacon's not in it. Spence isn't in it.
Mhm.
It's this sort of tight cast, and yet it does so well. For one of the episodes not having Arthur to be one of the best is that's a heavy lift,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it
And-
is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and yet it's still really funny.
Oh,
Yep.
it's yeah. Once we get into
I
ratings
agree.
and review, it's yeah. I do before we get into rating and review, Amanda.
Mhm.
We like to ask to you, like, why do you watch it?
Hmm,
In your email, you kind of said you guys watch it a lot, and
we do.
obviously
So I
you're
guess
from Queens.
yeah. So a lot of TV shows take place in New York. But I think that King of Queens captures like this sort of blue collar life in the outer boroughs of New York more accurately than a lot of other shows that say that they're from there. Like, like Friends or Seinfeld. I mean, they're great
Mhm.
shows, but
Right.
so I grew up, my dad was NYPD. My mom was a restaurant waitress and then a manager. And so we were very much in that socioeconomic bracket, the sort of blue collar. Neither of my parents went to college, but yet like Doug and Carrie, they're it's that bracket where it's not so much about what your education status is. It's how,
Right.
you savvy maybe as they would call it
Yeah.
in the show. And so I feel like it's a really accurate portrayal of that. So to watch it for me, it's like I said in my email, it's comfort food. I watch it and that's home. That's how people talk, that's how people act. I mean, maybe a little embellished, but so I love it for that reason. And I feel like it's sort of my go-to when I'm in a bad mood, or it just makes me think of like watching it at home with my mom. Like we would just crack
Yeah.
up watching it, and then my husband and I watch it together. And
Oh,
he
that's
grew up
great.
in a much more highfalutin type of life than
Ah.
I did. He was a much more upper class upbringing, and so that to him, I was like, no, you see, this is actually really what it was like to live where I lived. To grow, it's Long Island.
I don't know if
These
you
are the kind of
mentioned it.
characters.
I don't know if you mentioned it before, but where's your husband from?
He's from Wisconsin.
Oh, he's from Wisconsin. Okay,
But both
cool.
of his parents were lawyers. So
Oh,
just I mean, both of our families are great. Just he had
Right.
he went to private school, that kind of thing, and
Right. Right.
um, I was very sheltered in a way because my dad was a cop, but I was still, more like just, middle class. I don't know what you'd call Doug and Carrie, middle to lower middle class socioeconomically. In New York, probably more like lower middle class, but not really because he has a really good stable job and, you know,
Yeah.
so it's maybe middle class. I say middle class.
Probably middle. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree with you on that one. I would agree with you on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, so for me,
Oh,
it's just like I said, it's comforting. It's just
Yeah.
cozy. You watch it, you'll always laugh. You know what's gonna happen, and
Yep.
you laugh anyway.
That's great. That's great. All right. So now we get on to ratings and reviews. IMDb had 355 user ratings at a 7.9 out of 10 stars. And I'm just going to say that is not an accurate
it's a
score.
little too low. Yeah.
Lowballed.
It's very low balled, in my opinion. But as or at least as I've seen in Dusty with IMDb, they're all around an 8 to an 8.2 or 8.3. So
Yeah.
that seems to
Hmm.
be the average. Um, Ratings from our Facebook poll. We always put out a Facebook poll every week. We had a record high. It blew away our previous record of like 70 something. We had
Triple.
200 yeah, tripled it. 217 ratings. 217 people clicked on it. And you can only click on it once. It's not like
Hmm.
one person clicked on it 200 times.
Yeah.
So 217 ratings, got a 4.3 out of 5 stars. So that equates to an 8.6. In my opinion, still a little too low.
Yeah,
But
I
Mm,
agree.
we had
yep.
a ton of 4 stars. We did have like 6 or 7 1 stars and a couple of 2 stars and 3 stars. Again, everyone's
That I don't
entitled.
get.
I don't get it. Dusty, you want to read some of the comments? Some of the listen, overall, you know, overall a lot of the comments were positive. There was what, 40 or 50 comments, which is a lot
Yeah.
for the poll. Um, but I think 1 or 2 people towards the bottom, if you can look that up, like it was not enjoyable for them. And one
Hmm.
person does
Yeah.
into it
Yeah.
pretty well. So
Right. One person said the episode was horrible.
yeah, one person did
Um.
say it, and I responded to that. And again,
Yeah.
it's everyone is entitled to their opinion. We
Hmm.
just
Oh
want to
yeah.
know
Yeah.
why. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yep.
And I actually did. Normally, I don't do this, but I actually did respond to him, and he didn't respond back. I just asked him. I said,
Yeah.
"I'm just wondering why you think that way." That's
Hmm.
all.
No.
It would be nice to know. I mean, to use the words "this episode is horrible," I don't know. It's in my opinion
Yeah.
unfair, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what did the other person say? Because that person did kind of expound on
Yeah.
why
He
they
did.
didn't like it.
Troy Renner said, although funny, I didn't care about this episode. It's another episode where I feel the writers over. I mean, come on, what woman would be okay with their man writing a song for another woman? Not to mention how much Doug's mom was all over his ex and rubbing it in Carrie's face. And people wonder why Carrie was so mean. Ha ha ha.
So I want to say, I think Carrie was pissed at the end. It just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you saw her face. It only showed it very quickly, and that whole scene was very quick. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
long scene. Although it was tremendously funny, and I thought it was the greatest scene of all time on King and Queens. It was a short scene. It really was.
Yep.
You don't see any
Uh,
aftermath. You don't see her,
see Doug running away.
which is better. Honestly, a better way to
Yeah.
end than seeing the
Oh
aftermath.
yeah,
We
I
know how
mean,
that went back at home.
exactly. You know that Carrie's pissed, and you look
Yep.
at her face, and she's not. She walks out there. When she walks out there, she's got a look on her face like she's going to kill Doug, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
rightfully so.
It was
So
almost like she was heartbroken the whole episode that her mom was hanging out with Doug's ex. But then at the end, she was more pissed than anything than being
yeah,
heartbroken.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But people
exactly.
see weird. I mean, one of my favorite episodes is one of my husband's least favorite episodes. And so we've had a little bit of this in our King of Queens, dynamic. I
Okay.
love the supermarket story Thanksgiving
Oh my,
episode I love that one. I think it's
Yeah.
hilarious. I watch it every
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. My husband hates it. It stresses him out. He can't, from the beginning to the end. It stresses him out that they steal the parking lot. It stresses him out that Carrie has to put back all this food and then put it back again. And it stresses him out that Richie never gets to the front of the line. The whole time he's just like, "Why is all this stuff happening?" I'm like, "There is no why.
Yeah.
It's King of
Yeah.
Queens. It's happening because
Yeah.
it's insane."
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
But
Thanksgiving.
I love it, and he hates it. So I
Yeah.
know that people can have different in the Facebook group. People say their least favorite episode is one that like I watch like 15
Yeah.
times. So
Exactly.
It's a funny episode.
yeah.
It's hilarious. So with that, we'll turn it over to you, Amanda, for your rating and review out of
Okay.
10 out of 10.
I'm gonna be lazy, and I'm saying 10 out of 10. I just I
That's
don't
not
think
lazy.
that.
That's just
Well, I mean, it's the easy answer in a way, but I just to me, there's like nothing wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. The only thing that could add possibly is maybe if Arthur was in it, or but I don't know. I don't know what he would have added. To be honest, I think detracted. So I'm going with 10. Um, I think it's one of the perfect ones. They stuck the
I think that's
landing
our
in
third
a layman's
10.
term. Yeah,
yeah. No, we've gotten a couple of 10s, but
yeah.
Yeah.
um, no argument here. No
No,
argument
no.
here. Dusty, what about you?
Well, it's not in my top 5. This episode, I think it's hilarious. I think, because I always give above an 8 when Arthur's in it. But
Yeah.
since Arthur wasn't in it, I think Danny made up for Arthur not being in it because he was hilarious in that episode. Just that one part he had, one scene he
Yeah, he
had
was
in that
only
episode.
It was only the one scene. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he made up for Arthur not being in it. So I'm going to give a 9.4, 9.5.
9.4. Okay. Very respectable score. Very respectable. I'm going with Amanda. I'm doing a 10, Dusty.
Whoa!
This is my favorite King of Queens episode, asterisk, without Arthur in it.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
Same with Amanda. She just said it. Same with her.
Mhm.
Favorite King of Queens episode without Arthur in it. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We're only 20 episodes in
Yeah.
into our podcast, and we've already got Margie's song, nailed it, hit it out of the park, whatever you want to say. It's just, it hits it on every level.
Yeah.
It hits it on every level. And it's, if you want to laugh, watch this episode. If you want
10.
to see, Carrie at her, it shows the best of Carrie, the worst of Carrie. It shows the best of Doug, the worst of Doug. I'm telling you, there's an asterisk. It's without Arthur, but it's my favorite King and Queens episode without Arthur.
Steven's first 10. All right.
Yeah, and I've given a couple like up there in the 9s.
Yeah. I'm
This
still
hits
waiting
it.
for my 10.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what it is. So yeah, I can watch this episode over and over,
Yeah.
and still laugh,
Yep.
It's great. It's great, and I think that's why. And I think either you said it, Amanda, or Dusty said it earlier. I think that's why we got so many ratings on it, like people actually clicking on the poll, is
Yeah.
because they did love the episode. So
Yep.
I'm interested to see next week when we do a different episode how that's gonna translate. IMDb users, they got it totally wrong. I'll flat out say it. A 7.9.
It's like Rotten Tomatoes.
That's just wrong. Yeah, that's
7 point. That's wrong, Amanda. Right? I
at a
mean,
certain
Yeah.
point. You know what? You can have an incorrect opinion, and they do.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
know that people are. It's just wrong.
No, it is. I'll say.
You don't have to give it a 10, but a 7.9. I mean, that's
No, that's an insult.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like spitting in the face of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a kick in the tool bag.
Yeah. And I love everyone in the group, but giving it a 1 or a 2 even.
Man.
Ah,
that's Yeah,
But
that's no good.
you know, hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I
Yep.
say that all
Yep.
the time, but
Yep.
this time they're off the mark. Ah, all right. So I was excited for this
Before we
episode.
go,
Uh-oh.
before we go, I got something for
Dusty's
you
got
guys.
something.
Here we go. Yeah.
What do you got?
Margie got my heart in a world I need you so, oh Margie. Before we met, nothing in my life was right.
Okay, you finished it.
All that changed with Margie. You've blown me away, oh Carrie.
And there it is.
I tell you.
There it
It's
is.
always
I love
funny. It never
always
stops
funny.
being funny.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
a soundbite of it, because you can
Yeah.
just you're just imagining it sitting there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
Oh my
hilarious.
goodness.
My heart's in the world tonight. Um, great
Gonna be
show,
singing that
guys.
all night.
Yeah.
I thought this episode was great. I'll give this episode a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
All right.
Well, if you ever
Definitely.
need somebody, if you're trying to find somebody in a jam, I'm happy to come back. Always
yeah.
love talking King of Queens.
Absolutely. I thought
Definitely.
you were gonna say if we ever get arrested, you got our back.
Oh well, no. You see, I don't practice anymore. That would have to be my husband. He's only barred in D.C. or Virginia. So really, if you commit a
Okay.
federal crime, he's the go-to.
All right, federal
Okay.
crime, or if we're
Yeah.
driving through and get pulled
Yeah.
over and
Yeah.
Yeah.
something happens. Amanda, thank you very much.
Thank you
Appreciate
for having
it.
Yes,
me.
thank you.
Hope
Glad
to be back
you reached.
someday. And
Yeah, absolutely. Glad you reached
Cool.
out. Is there anything you want to plug?
No, I'm pretty. I don't have a lot of public accounts. It's mostly pictures of my kids, things people would not be interested in. So, pictures of my dog. That's about it.
There you go. Well, there you go. Dusty and Andrea would be interested in that.
Which actually, my first dog's name was Dusty.
Oh, hey, there you go.
Yeah. He was a police dog that saved my dad's life. So
Oh, wow.
he
Wow.
named him Dusty for that reason. hmm
Oh, that's cool.
German
Very
Shepherd.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Thank you, Dusty.
Yep. Let's
Plug away.
yeah, our TikTok is
TikTok.
at Do Work Baseball Softball NC. Our Facebook. What?
So random. So I don't know. I always laugh at that.
Yeah.
It's because you started it before we had this podcast. So
Well, that
every
and
time
it's
I
my
laugh, so-
business. It was going to be
Yeah.
for my business page, but then I started making all these funny videos, so I started on there, and then our podcast sounds and all that. So yeah, so it's like King of Queens. Like on the TikTok, I have like CEO of King of Queens scene reenactments and
Nice.
Shutty Yuppie podcast, and has our link to the to our podcast and everything.
Sweet. Sweet.
Face at Let's Talk. Shit. Sorry. Dang, I was trying to
Not
not
that.
mess up like I did last week. Facebook is Shutty Uppy, Let's Talk King of Queens. And our Instagram is Shutty Uppy at Shutty Uppy Podcast. God dang it. I was hoping I wouldn't mess up on it.
There's only like one time ever in our short podcast lives that you've gotten that correct.
Right?
And tonight
Ugh.
was not one of them.
Nope. Fail.
Epic fail. King of Queens podcast at gmail.com. I did get an email this week. Thank you, Andrea. Appreciate it.
Look, she
Somebody
listened to the
finally emailed me.
podcast and that, yeah, she listened it on Monday and she's like, I got to email Steven.
Everyone always says they will, and she's the only one who followed through so far.
Yeah.
If you're in the New York area, specifically the Orange County area, and you want your phone fixed, your iPhone specifically, I'm your guy. I'm starting to do
There
that.
you go. There you go.
So I don't know how many listeners we have in my area, but let me know. Hit me up.
Or if you want a picture with us, go get a picture.
Yeah. I'll autograph it and
Yeah.
everything.
There you go. And if you're in North Carolina, I'm over here.
There you go. Dusty, you can get it done with Dusty. He'll autograph his. you can Photoshop me into it, and vice versa with our picture. I don't know where we just came up with that on the spot. So Amanda,
Yeah.
thank you for the inspiration.
All
No
right.
problem.
All right, I think that's about it. I think it was an excellent show. My first 10 out of 10, and I'm probably gonna go end up watching it again right after this. So I love it
Nice.
that much.
Yes.
Again, Amanda, thank you very much,
No problem.
and
Nice
we'll
to meet you
talk to you
both.
guys next week.
Yep.
Have a
All
good one.
right. Ciao.